Well, hello out there and welcome back. We're here doing the Lessons of A Course in Miracles, and I'm at a beautiful Peace Park in Sedona. This is a place some people don't know about, so make sure you look for it on your next visit here. I am literally surrounded by all these little road runners, and they make the most beautiful song. It's really interesting. So I'm kind of in that. And I'm having a little bit of a hangover from yesterday's lesson. So before we get into lesson 36, which is what the focus of the video is, my holiness envelops everything I see, I just want to take a little trip back to lesson 35. My mind is part of God's, I'm very holy. So as I was doing the exercises yesterday, this belief that I have surfaced in my mind that I do not belong. And it just kept coming up for me, and I felt this welling up feeling like I was gonna cry. And you know, it's just, you don't know what's in your mind until you start searching. And there are certain beliefs that are running your life program that you may have no idea exist. And it seems so opposite of how I think I feel about myself, but to just be in stillness and have a belief arise is startling. So I don't know, I'm just still kind of in that, and I'm fascinated by what these lessons can do and the power that they have in my life. And I hope that you're finding the same things. And it really takes patience. So you say the lesson, you do the practice periods, and I don't know that I was really even in the lesson moment when that thought arose, but it was like there, and I couldn't deny it, and I didn't make it up. So I don't know. I hope you're experiencing the same kinds of things and learning how to love yourself even more, knowing that there's a lot in there that you just never saw. All right, so lesson 36. My holiness envelops everything I see. Today's idea extends the idea for yesterday from the perceiver to the perceived. You are holy because your mind is part of God's. And because you are holy, your sight must be holy as well. Sinless means without sin. You cannot be without sin a little. You're either sinless or not. If your mind is part of God's, you must be sinless, or a part of His mind would be sinful. Your sight is related to His holiness, not to your ego, and therefore not your body. 4 3 to 5 minute practice periods are required for today. Try to distribute them fairly evenly, and make the shorter applications frequently to protect your protection throughout the day. The longer practice periods should take this form. First, close your eyes and repeat the idea for today several times slowly. Then open your eyes and look quite slowly about you, applying the idea specifically to whatever you note in your casual survey. Say, for example, my holiness envelops that rug. My holiness envelops that tree. My holiness envelops these fingers. My holiness envelops that monument to Buddha behind me. My holiness envelops this pen. Several times during these practice periods, close your eyes and repeat the idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and continue as before. For the shorter exercise periods, close your eyes and repeat the idea. Look about you as you repeat it again, and conclude with one more repetition with your eyes closed. All applications should, of course, be made quite slowly, as effortlessly and unhurriedly as possible. My holiness envelops everything I see. There was a little confusing line in here about the practice periods. 4 3 to 5 minute practice periods are required for today. Try to distribute them fairly evenly and make the shorter applications frequently to protect your protection throughout the day. To protect your protection. This means to me that those parts of us that we know are holy, and that is what envelops everything that we see. Not that anything actually needs protection, but there is a tenderness in that part of us. And what I think our ego does is it basically dictates to us who we are, how we act, what we should say, what we should do, and we're really just on autopilot. And there's that part of us that knows that we've never separated from Source, that we are still a part of everything. And, just back to my hangover idea of not belonging, this idea that I have in me that I don't belong doesn't need to be protected. That's an idea. All of these ideas that we have about ourselves, really, we need to forgive and release and, let the energy flow through us that is bliss and happiness and joy and all of that good stuff. Not that it's good or bad, but, the truth and who we really are. So that's, I think, the place that we're protecting our protection by repeating these ideas, by saying things like, my holiness envelops this tree in front of me. Is there a place in me that doesn't believe that? Of course. Do I want to believe that? Yes. Am I somewhere in between, in denial and believing that my holiness envelops anything? Yes. And so I think that's what this lesson is wanting us to do. It's conditioning us against what basically our ego mind or our society is conditioning us to think and be and act and do. We are not that. We are an unconditionally loving aspect of God, of all source creation, of all that is. We never left heaven. We never stopped being connected. And our holiness does envelop everything we see. But we're just trained to believe the opposite. And we're trained to project everything and judge and live in this unkind way, first to ourselves and then to others. So yeah, this excavation process is quite extraordinary. And the more that you do the lessons, the more freely these untrue ideas and beliefs that you have about yourself will rise to the surface. And it'll hit you when you're not doing a lesson, when you're kind of off guard. And so be prepared for that, expect that, and have a gentleness when it does happen. Have compassion for yourself and realize that you could be all wrong. You could have your complete identity constructed based upon a pure false belief foundation. And when the truth starts to come up about what's actually in your mind, you have a chance to work on your forgiveness practice, and you have a chance to know that there's something more loving and more nurturing that wants you to come out as you and not this falsehood that we're walking in throughout our days. So I hope that helps you. I hope that this lesson works well for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the bird song and the atmosphere here. This is a pretty neat place. I love being here. I'm so grateful. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for studying with me, and I'll see you back again tomorrow.